Jeff, start with you. What's in the national environment that would you say two or three factors that are good for Republicans? Issues, the economy, anything about the mechanics of elections? An asymmetrical advantage for Republicans overall in these midterms? Talking about the general election now.
Well, the individual and unique issue set around the economy is good for us, but the trust level is good for us. But the fact that we're in power,
explain those two.
yeah. So when you talk about similar, I loved your rant earlier about how reporters and people that pretend to do politics. But when you talk about the issues that are important to people and then which party you trust, we still have an advantage on the unique policies on economics, and we have an advantage with who you trust on the important issues. But we do have the problem of being in power, and so we get a lot of the blame for what's bad. And so I think to last night, to the extent that the numbers haven't come out yet, but probably 35 million people watched it. The unique policies are popular. They trust Republicans, but they don't see a lot of action, or they don't see it how it's impacting their daily life.
Yeah.
So that's the headwind, and so that's why you raise $1 billion to talk about it.
Right. Do you think overall Republicans, for the general now, I know your head's in the primaries, but in the general, do you think Republicans overall, super PACs, 501c3, C4s, candidate money, party committees, you think it's possible Republicans will have more money overall or meaningfully more money? Is that possible?
Yes. And in a routine federal race, if we're only outspent 2-1, we feel like that's a victory typically for the last post Citizens, I guess. Citizens United. Now I think we're going to have more. Democrat fundraising appears to be either split because of the primaries. They'll get their act together in the general for sure. But the super PACs for the both party committees are very healthy and strong. We've got to work out a few primaries, but we have fewer primary problems than Democrats have for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
And we have more money. I think at the end of the day, you'll be at parity at minimum. I don't see a 2-1 advantage coming against us.
Yeah, and typically, I think some Republicans, I'm not saying you do this, but some Republicans overstate the advantage of the Democratic money situation. And they'll say, oh, we're always badly outspent. So, but you're saying, as other Republicans have said to me, you all may have more money than the Democrats, and that would be unusual. Even if they don't outspend you as badly historically as some say, that'd be a meaningful advantage, because again, in down ballot races as compared to the presidential, the paid, whatever you're spending it on, matters a lot, right?
Yeah, and I think it's so there's a bogey out there that's got a big number on it, but not a big spend assigned to it yet, which is the Trump money that he's raising for his various entities. And he's not shown historically to spend a lot of that. This year might be different, though, to save, impeachment and other things that will come out of a Democrat majority.
I've been told he's just going to spend it to give Corey Lewandowski a plane to fly around. Just kidding. Just kidding. I knew you'd both laugh at that. Earlier in my career, and maybe this change is my fault rather than external, I could always tell you who had the asymmetrical advantage between the parties in different areas. And for some reason, it's very difficult for me to figure this out, even when I ask people. So I'm going to ask you guys both just a short answer, Democrat, Republican. Who has the asymmetrical advantage in the following areas, okay?
Okay.
And I'm not just talking about the RNC and the DNC. I'm talking about red team and blue team, okay? Who's better right now on the use of technology in campaigns for all the things technology is used for? Democrats or Republicans? Jeff?
Republicans. Our data, I believe, has surpassed the van system that the Democrats have.
Okay. Jamie?
I wouldn't say Republicans on that. There are a lot of things that I know the DNC's have been working on to continue to prove data. If Republicans have an advantage, it is a very slight one, minimum one that I don't think will make a difference one way or the other.
Let's drill down on this, because again, it's just a respectful disagreement here. Jeff, just be more specific. Where do you see the advantage?
I believe it's in the targeting of ticket splitters. So Jamie talked about ticket splitters. I think it's probably going to be 7 to 9% of the vote. In a general election, presidential is 150 million people vote. In an off-year election, it'll be 100 million people vote. So I think that the ticket splitters, I don't really count independents now because a lot of people call themselves independents, but the ticket splitters are going to be less. And I think our ability to track and target voters on video, which is the most complicated media advertising cycle I've been in. I hope it goes away quickly. You used to be able to put it up on 3 stations and you're good. And then throw in some cable and you're fine. And now 25% of the people.
It's not coming back, dude. You're going to have to advertise about 75,000 places on video. Jeff, is the advantage you see on technology reside in the RNC, or is it spread around?
Oh, it's the RNC would be a tool in a toolbox, but there's private companies and industries that would utilize more.
Jamie, I would agree with Jeff that the private companies on the Republican side have been better than the private companies on the Democratic side.
Yeah, being able to talk to somebody that works at a tech company is a big advantage this year. So maybe I just feel better because we could never talk to them before.
Jamie, who's the star on your side? Who's the star of technology and data right now? What company or individual would you say is the star, is the most cutting edge for your party?
I mean, listen, there are a few companies that I'm really high on right now. One company that I'm working with, Ryegrass, in terms of social media influencers. They have really doing some really cool and interesting things there, trying to catch up with the Republicans in terms of navigating that world. And then Target Smart always is, adding some extra tools to the toolbox.
Yeah. Jeff, besides your own firm, who would you say are the stars of the Republicans on technology now?
I think Slay AI is doing a lot, and I believe Grapeseed Advertising is doing a lot. The rest of them would be big names that you know about, but those are two that are unique Republican that are doing well.
Okay. I don't read the chat, but I glanced at it. I saw somebody put in there, doesn't the technology edge go back and forth? In fact, it does. I'm amazed no one's written this book. It's an incredible story. The Obama folks were way ahead. The Bush folks were ahead. Then the Obama folks were ahead. And then the Trump campaign kind of snuck up on everybody and did a really good job on a variety of fronts. I don't think they dominated. The Clinton folks had some good people, but it does seem up for grabs now. But I think I agree with Jeff based on all I know. Republicans have a slight edge right now. Jamie mentioned it. Social media. I'm talking about on the creative side, not on the tech side. Jamie, who do you think has the advantage on social media? Again, red team, blue team. Who's got better game on social right now? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, which is still big with voters, LinkedIn. Who would you say is more creative, does more to win elections on social?
Well, Republicans in the last election cycle showed that they definitely had an advantage over Democrats in terms of how to navigate social media world and connect with voters in that space. Definitely Democrats are trying to catch up. And again, companies like Ryegrass are helping in that space. But Republicans with advantage there.
Jeff, do you agree with that?
I couldn't hear all that.
I think. Do you agree Republicans have the advantage on the content side of social creativity and?
Yes. Maybe not the audience size yet outside of Trump, but yes. Yeah.
I'm going to assume you both agree with me that the podcast space and video podcast space, Republicans have the advantage, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What about in terms of the DNC versus the RNC and the state parties? Who's got the better party apparatus right now, Jeff?
Republicans. We're in the control of the White House. We have more money, more resources, more tools, and you can't count the RNC without counting the White House, and so it's us.
Jamie, you agree with that?
Well, I think the party with the White House always has a slight advantage because they can pump more money into it. I think in terms of organizations, I still think DNC is better than the RNC. But.
Jamie, and leave your home states out of it so you'd avoid getting in trouble. What are one or two state parties on your side that you think are strong?
Well, the Wisconsin Democratic Party is a strong party. North Carolina is a very strong party.
Okay, that's two. That's good.
Yep.
Jeff, two for your side that you think are strong.
Florida and Florida.
Yeah, Florida is a beast, and in part because the Democrat Party hasn't existed for a while, and it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, what about the ability to use Congress to shape the election? We've seen election cycles where the midterms or a presidential were really shaped by superior use of the platform of Congress to shape the national dialogue, to make the other side take hard votes, etc. Jamie, which party has the advantage going into the midterms this year on using Congress as a weapon?
Oh, I think Democrats. Hakeem Jeffries has been eating Mike Johnson's lunch like every day. I mean, just look at the number of discharge petitions that have gotten through and passed on the floor of the House. I mean, that's a historic. I think they've passed three discharge petitions. When you lose control of the floor of the House, you have lost control of Congress. And I just don't think Mike Johnson has the strongest control over his conference. And I mean, they bring bills up to the floor that sometimes they don't even know if they're going to get passed,
Yeah.
and that's sad. And so I think Hakeem has really kept the House Dem caucus unified, and done a good job there.
Would you say, before we go to Jeff, would you say the same about the Senate, that Schumer has got a chance to use the floor and the process more than Senator Thune?
Yeah, I don't
Oh
feel.
no, not more than, but it's an equal footing because the voteramas and the bad votes they didn't catch them in.
All
There's
right,
a lot
so
of traffic there.
and Jeff, what do you think about the House? Do you agree with Jamie that the Democrats have the advantage for politics?
I don't, but I don't know that we're using it as effectively as we could. But
Yeah.
in the coming months, I think that gets better.
Yeah. Two more. Who has the advantage on the concept of employing the concept of the Epstein class? Jeff, who has more of an advantage talking about the Epstein class?
Democrats, because of how it's been handled thus far, Democrats have used it very effectively and have found some Republicans to help them. But it's been mishandled stunningly all the way through.
Well, so just say a bit more about that. Forget going backwards. How it should be handled now?
Well, if it's not all out, it needs to be out. I don't know and understand how other countries are handling this better than we are.
Yeah.
Which is very surprising. And so for there not to be any prosecutions aside from Giselle, or however you say her name, Jermaine, whatever her name is, it's a bad look.
Yeah. Jamie, do you agree the Epstein class is a strength for your party?
Wholeheartedly agree on that. I mean, and really, it shouldn't be a any party advantage on this.
Yeah.
I mean, we should all get together, hold hands, and say, you know, we need to tackle this, and it shouldn't be something partisan. It's just about doing what's right for the victims.
Yeah. Last one, and this is an amalgamation of a lot of the factors we've already covered. Jeff, you first. Which party's better at get out the vote? And of course, get out the vote is ballot harvesting where that's legal, but getting people to return mail-in ballots, getting people out on election day. Which party is better at using technology and everything else, concerts, collecting of data, and then brick and mortar buses and vans? Which party has the advantage in turning out the vote this cycle?
Well, from the mechanics of it, I think it's really close, but I think that we have the advantage because we have the president who got more votes than anyone's ever gotten. And if we just get out, 3/4 of those voters, we can't lose. But from a fundamentals, their ability to use the state laws in each state to their advantage, the Democrats have an advantage. Where there's mail-in ballots, they win 70% of them. Where it's voting in person, we typically win, 65% of them. And so, but the more mail-in ballot states there are, the better it's going to be for Democrats. Republicans aren't going to give their ballot to anybody.
Okay, Jamie.
I think slight advantage to Democrats, but I think Jeff's right. It's pretty even-handed right now in terms of operations of getting votes out. But I think with an extra enthusiasm and motivation, I think Democrats are going to have the edge in terms of getting out their vote this fall.
Jeff, don't 2018 and the off year election suggest that President Trump is not that great, at least he hasn't been, at turning out Republican votes when he's not on the ballot? Because that runs counter to what you seem to be suggesting, that he's the great turnout machine, but he seems to turn out Democrats at least as well as Republicans. No?
Oh, sure. No, he motivates their base, but we have a great number of voters that are non-general election or off-year general election voters that follow him closely, and he's still a very effective tool. We used him again in 2018, and took him to the right places, and he's a big draw.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the show's about half over, and you've already gotten more of an education about the midterms and about politics, but really more about campaigns and elections than I think you on offer any place else I know of. The good people at Cozy Earth want to sell you stuff, and they want to give you 20% off because you're part of the two-way community. All you need to do is go to cozyearth.com, put in the promo code two-way, and get 20% off. We talk so much about the bubble cuddle blanket Don't sleep on the sheets. Don't sleep on the towels. Don't sleep on the pants, the shirts. It's all available to you. Show a little love to yourself, to your family this February before the month ends. Buy yourself some Cozy Earth stuff. It's a great gift. It's great to buy for yourself. I recommend the towels as a starter if you've not got them, or of course the bubble cuddle blanket. I'm warning you, the bubble cuddle blanket weighs a ton. So if you buy one, you may want to hit the weight room first before it shows up. It's a heavy thing. Refresh your routines with comfort that makes everyday life feel like a brand new year. Again, go to CozyEarth.com. Use the promo code 2WAY. At the end, you might get one of those pop-ups. How did you hear about Cozy Earth? Say, well, Mark Halpern talks relentlessly about them, and he just wore me down. Just made it seem like I had to buy something. Hey, want to be part of the 2Way community all the time? Hit the subscribe button. Great video clips like this, plus conversations like no other, full episodes, and more, always available on this channel. You got to hit subscribe to never miss a thing. You can now listen to full episodes of The Morning Meeting and 2Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.